Erp. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, your host with the very most, the Gaming Skellington, and welcome to another exciting episode of Let's Talk. It is a fine morning after Easter. Everyone got well rested. Everybody got some nice Easter dinner in their mouths. In their butts. No, I'm just kidding. And now it's a new day full of lots of new adventure. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Let's Talk. This morning on the podcast, we're gonna discuss a few things that could or could not be the center of attention and what could possibly be the change in what this new world could become. Noting the said deals that we just foresee everything that happens all at once. Too many signs are happening, too many clear possibilities are going around. Gas prices are going up, prices of food has increased, finding more and more poison in the stuff that we eat and consume in our bodies and even use to bathe and clean ourselves. It's all just a big giant fucking mess, and we're all a part of the rabbit hole scheme that is the government. So what say you? What say me? Are we gonna go out and pick some of those fucking cherry trees? Hell no, we're not. We're gonna sit back on our lazy fat asses and let the society figure out which cherries we want to pick. Let me make myself sound like that freaking maniac from that show Hardball. The air is making the freaking bees gay. We gotta stop the bees from turning gay. Pretty soon, the bees will be gay, and then the gayness will get in the honey, and the people will eat the honey, and then they'll turn gay. I mean, when you think about it, it sounds like a bunch of bullshit malarkey, especially listening to it with a goopy ass voice like that, but there's also some truth to be put in that as well, and you don't want to deny the facts that it could possibly be that way. Not necessarily turn everybody gay, but can do special things to your brain that wasn't intended by God. Let's talk about fart machines. I mean, to quote Jerry Seinfeld, pardon me. No, I'm just kidding. As to quote Jerry Seinfeld, what is the deal with all this craziness and chaos in the world? I mean, nobody ever gets along anymore. I mean, come on. I don't mean to have a horrible impersonation of Jerry Seinfeld. I apologize in advance, Jerry Seinfeld. I take umbrage to that. I mean, what is the deal? They talk about ponies being the rightful creatures of the New World government, but have they failed to realize that they don't know what they're exactly talking about? Well, I'm here today to tell you that that's a load of malarkey, and you need to realize that you're being lied to. No, but in all seriousness, you do need to realize that you are being lied to, and nothing in this world is sacred anymore. Alright, now I think it's part of the show. Now I think it's the time of the part of the show where we check out what's going on in this world and what we need to be afraid of or not be afraid of, or what we're actually hallucinating in our minds of what's real and what's not real, especially with all this AI junk that's going around. So let's swap screens real quick and we'll make that happen. You'll just have to bear in mind with me, I'm doing all this editing live. I have no editor doing this for me in the background. So it's a little bit more difficult to be prepared for stuff like this when you're doing all the work yourself. If I had a moderator, they'd be able to do all these little camera switches for me. Alright, so let's hope that the world isn't too fucking depressing this morning, because we're going to check out some headlines, see what exactly is going on right now this morning as we speak at 6:43 a.m. And you can see our lovely view of New York City there. I don't live in New York, I live in Florida. As Stewie called it, God's waiting room. So let's dive on in, shall we? So I don't want something from 8 hours ago. No, I don't want anything from 8 hours ago. Yeah, why don't we do this? Let's change this to Google. That way we can get a little bit more insight. think the page buttons would work. This shit's fucking annoying, dude. Hold on one second, y'all. We're just gonna do a window capture. Fill the damn screen, what the hell? I love how it's still writing, by the way. No, not down. Fucking idiot. Or something that sucks is you can't change the aspect ratio to match what's on here. You gotta have to go with the flow. Anyway, here's the site. Oh, god damn it. I don't want something from 18 hours ago. I want something now. Oh, here we go.
Orion speeds towards the moon
This one's
at
about Artemis.
2,300 miles per hour. New spectacular images of the target growing in the distance, and the majestic blues and greens of home left behind.
Yeah, they're talking about how they got new pictures of Earth.
Hey Tom, it's great to hear your voice all the
And
way
of
up
course,
here.
you know, everyone's already calling the goddamn bullshit on it.
This is the farthest interview ever conducted in history, and I'm wondering how.
Like, I'm not trying to be a dick to all those kids that wanted to be astronauts at school and actually got to fulfill their dreams and everything, but I'm telling y'all right now, we've never been to fucking space.
Just being up here and seeing how difficult this is and how hard the team is working to see the moon, to see the Earth, and to know that we are between those two celestial bodies, and you can see it when you look out the window. It is truly awe-inspiring up here.
When you look at the moon that you're headed for, and that gets closer and closer, what are your thoughts?
Well, last night we did have our first view of the moon far side, and it was just absolutely spectacular. And something about you senses that is not the moon that I'm used to seeing. And sure enough, we got out our lunar targeting information, and we matched up, and we're like, yeah, that is the dark side.
The astronauts now preparing to photograph the far side of the moon on Monday, portions never before seen by humans. Among the newest photos, Commander Reed Weissman with Earth in the window, and Christina Cook silhouetted as she is outbound to the moon.
We heard a rumor up here that it is actually Saturday back on Earth. We have definitely lost track of the days.
Watching it all from the ground, Mission Control Houston. Roughly 20 controllers working 3 shifts 24/7. And while the technology has changed dramatically over the decades, these are essentially the same positions they were working during Apollo. Judd Freeling is the Artemis II flight director.
We're building upon the giants that started it back in the Apollo era.
Tonight, Orion closing in on a history-making rendezvous.
We're explorers at heart as human beings, and we really feel like we're exploring out here, and it brings a lot of excitement. And then, you know, right away you are humbled. The fact that 4 of us get to be out here just brings you to your knees.
Sit down. Be humble.
What a cool experience. Now, when they do get to
Bitch,
the far
sit
side
down.
of the moon on Monday, the crew
Be
won't have
humble.
any communications for about 40 minutes with Earth.
Yeah, that's right. And listen, the astronauts are not worried. Mission Control's not worried. This is all pre-planned. They will lose comms for about 40 minutes or so, but their rocket trajectory is pre-planned and locked in. They will slingshot around the moon, head back to Earth, splashing down on Friday. Jose?
Look, I am not trying to question. Hold on, let me get our music started back up. Look, I am not saying that mankind can achieve anything, but it's already been proving that we have never been to the moon. So I just find all this shit just complete bullshit. Once again, they're lying to your faces right fucking there, man. Alright. Moving on to more news. Let's see what else we got. I'm sure none of y'all want to fucking read about this, but I really don't give a rat's ass because it is important in our media.
News overnight. In an extraordinary turn of events, the United States has rescued the second crew member who was in the U.S. F-15 fighter jet shot down over Iran Friday. President Trump texting me directly this morning, the rescue was an Easter miracle. The enemy was large and violent. The rescuers were brilliant, strong, decisive, and as cool as anyone can be. The Iranians thought they had him, but it wasn't even close. And remember, we got two, but couldn't talk about the first in that it would have highlighted that there was a second. Such a rescue has never happened before in so violent an enemy territory. It is usually not done because it is considered not doable. Such a great military like no other. Adding on Truth Social, open the effing straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. All of this comes on the heels of President Trump's primetime address Wednesday night, telling Americans the objectives in Iran.
That's right, Iran. You better fucking cry to your mamas, because we're gonna beat you fucking senseless until you can't fucking breathe anymore.
Military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Welcome back, and joining me now is
We're gonna hit them extremely hard. Extremely hard, motherfuckers. Y'all just mad because we're winning. Alright? Now, let's steer away from politics for a little bit. Since this is a gaming channel, let's check out some gaming news. Shall we? As usual with the internet, it appears we've already got leaks. Does not surprise me.
We got some great things to look forward to in gaming. While last week's gaming news roundup video was kind of a downer, I promise that we got some good news this time. Although we cannot ignore the reality of the gaming industry. So, a ton to go over. Good that you're joining the Sunday news roundup, and let's go. We always thought that Naughty Dog would release just one big AAA game during the PlayStation 5 generation, Intergalactic, the new third-person action game that Neil Druckmann has been directing since shortly after The Last of Us Part 2 launched. As you might know, that game seems to release 7 years after The Last of Us sequel, like it's now targeting summer 2027. And one of the reasons for this long development cycle is that a large part of Naughty Dog was working on The Last of Us Online, which we learned this week was around 80% complete before it was cancelled. The director on that project, who has since left Naughty Dog, mentioned on a recent podcast that at one point
Oh,
they
you
had to
you didn't
decide
hear any of that. Damn it. I gotta remember to start unmuting my mic. I was saying that... Fuck, I don't even remember what the hell he was talking
on
about.
that project, who has since
Oh yeah,
left
fucking talking about cancellation of video games. So yeah, cancellation of video. So they canceled the Last of Us online project, which seems to be a norm. And I'm looking at you, Maverick Hunter, for the PSP, that first-person shooter that was supposed to be inspired, kind of like the Metroid Prime trilogy, which blew the minds away of Nintendo owners back in the day. Nobody thought that Metroid would work as a first-person shooter. It was always known to be a side-scrolling platformer, and that's what it's always been. But guess what? They blew it out of the water with Metroid Prime, and it was one of the greatest games of all time. I feel like when game developers are designing games, or at least thinking about new ideas or rehashing old ones, they seem to think about more or less what they think will bring in the money versus what the fans actually want out of the company and the projects they bring. There's a lot of canceled games that I have read about that I would have loved to see be developed. I would have played the shit out of these games. But yet, we live in a world where none of this ever happened. And I feel like there's an alternate universe out there where a lot of these unreleased games actually got released.
Naughty Dog mentioned on a recent podcast that at one point they had to decide between continuing development on Intergalactic or fully committing to this extraction shooter take on The Last of Us. And yes, they ultimately chose to focus on the new single-player IP. He also said that I remember finding out it was getting cancelled.
Yeah. Gotta focus on making games look pretty. Not playable, but fucking pretty. Look, we get it. We have reached the peak of what video games could possibly be. We've already got to the point where we're seeing in the Unreal 5 engine that we can make realistic looking graphics. Hold on. My alarm's going off. We've already figured out that we can make realistic looking graphics. Can we stop now? We get it. We know what's possible. So if we're gonna do that, this is what I think, and a lot of fans have done it. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos about it. A lot of fans have done it, and unfortunately nothing ever gets released. They're just concepts, demos, stuff like that. But fans have already came, and they've already remastered, remade classic games into this new formula that works. But yet we can't get a fully developed AAA title that is similar to these Unreal demos that Neanderthal developers make in their spare time. It's just not fair. We've got real hard-working developers out there that release games that get trashed on. Meanwhile, you have third-party developers, independent developers, who don't even hardly make a dime off of this kind of stuff. Some of them do it just for fun, and they make more quality titles than half these game companies could ever think they could design. And it's quite sad, actually. How many lawsuits Nintendo has had because their IP was used for a game that actually looked like it was made by Nintendo? And Nintendo knows that they have the possibility to make a game as mind-blowing as these fan-made games, But they refuse to because it's more or less about what they want, the money, and the products they can put on the shelf to cash in more money that Nintendo already has. Nintendo is the goddamn Disney Corporation of the fucking gaming world, and you can all agree with me. And Sony is working their way there. You know who's winning the console wars, in my opinion, and a lot of YouTubers have already said this. I believe that the Xbox is winning the console wars just for the simple fact that they are not only partnering with Steam to create a Steam-compatible Xbox that not only plays Xbox content, but also PC content as well. It's a no-brainer. Everyone is switching to PC because console video games are just obsolete. There's people out there they're still buying PlayStation 2s because it is more well worth of a console than any other game system out there. Why? It's got a large library. It's got DVD support. You can watch movies. Military men have used it for military grade equipment to use for drone strikes. I mean, this system can do anything. And now the fact that you can have these high-end powered PCs that have like 32 megabytes of RAM and just like this super fast processing, and these like custom mods that these fans make where you can turn a Nintendo 64 game looking all polygon and blocky to a smoothly polished, clean looking game. It's a no-brainer. You can do the same thing with PlayStation 2 games. PlayStation 2 was already reaching its peak with how video games are going to look in the future, and the fact that you can actually give these games full high-definition graphics, like a full high-definition upscale. It's mind-blowing. Same thing with the Xbox 360. You have the ability to play Xbox 360 on a PC, and the games look fucking gorgeous, like they're running on an Xbox Series. And let's talk about Game Pass. Game Pass. One of the greatest designs to ever be released. Ever. And I just think it's magnificent what kind of things we can have to just make shit look just so fucking awesome. It's just like that MUVR game that I was playing that I live streamed the other night. I would rather play that than any of these new titles that they have in this day and age. Video games just aren't the same as they used to be, and I don't think they ever will be the same, especially with the way game companies are throwing out these titles left and right like it's just some kind of joke to them. And it's quite sad, actually. coming. We coming for the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you. Hell, did I just say that? Damn. Oh, that dog. Hi there, Andy Dick here. Whoa! Oh, that's wacky. Sorry, I'm closing up shop, everybody. My daughter's awake, so I gotta get the day started. Time is up. Time is always up. You can't see me because my time is up. Alright, let's wrap things up. Everywhere. I know I'm kind of lollygagging. Light this cigarette and then we're gonna say farewell. So. So fucking noisy in the morning. Anyway, boom, there we go. Alright, I'll wrap things up. Here we go. Alright, so, yeah, we saw what's going on with Iran. We saw what's going on with the craziness that's going on in this world. We saw that more leaks are coming out for video games. We didn't really finish the game news, but we'll get there eventually. Till then, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. This has been The Gaming Skellington with Let's Talk Podcast. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you in the next one. Hopefully I'll be getting some videos done soon. Been kind of busy, holiday weekend, all that stuff, working, yada yada yada, so with things set in stone. But till then, we'll see you in the next one. And remember, don't make a jerk out of yourself. Alright guys, see you in the next episode.